Alright guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to see how to create this clean looking gold text effect inside Photoshop. Let's get started. Alright, being open here inside Photoshop, the first step is to create a new file. So I go to File and then choose New. When the new document window opens up, you can see I'm working in pixels. I've set the width to 1800 and height to 800 pixels, and I've reduced the resolution to 150. With all these settings, let's just click on Create. Now we need to create a background that will be very flexible. To do that, let us go here under the adjustment layer and click, and let us choose solid color. Let us just make sure everything is black and say OK for the moment. I'm going to delete this layer by unlocking it and then dragging it to the trash icon. We don't equally need the marks, so I'm going to delete that. Now I'm going to rename this layer to background. Now let us go to the toolbar on the left and take the text tool. You can also press T. On the options bar, you see I'm using the Lato font set to regular and the size of 226 points. Let us click here to change the text color to white. Just click anywhere on the canvas and type gold. Press escape to confirm. Now we need to align the text to the canvas. If you look on the options bar, you can see these buttons for alignment are currently grayed out. So let us press Ctrl A to make sure everything is selected and those buttons are now highlighted. These buttons are very easy to understand, guys. If you want to align something horizontally, just look at the horizontal bars. If you want to align something vertically, just look at the vertical bars here. So I'm just going to click on horizontal align center and vertical align center. Then I'll press Ctrl D to deselect everything. Now on the layers panel, let us come to this empty portion and then right click. Then let us go to blending options. This will open the layer style window. I'll just move it to the side so that we see what we are doing on the screen. Let us start by clicking on gradient overlay. When you select any option here on the left, you will see the settings for that particular option here on the right. All the settings here look nice, but I'm going to click in the middle here to bring the gradient editor. Now we have two stops here. We are going to use these stops to define the gradient. The first stop here, let us click on it and click on the color option. While trying to test this out, I came up with certain values. So we are currently interested in the RGB values here. So for the red value, I'm going to input 240, and for the green value, I'm going to enter 236. And for the blue, I'm going to enter 170. Let us say OK. Let us click on the second stop here and also click on the color. Again, under the RGB values, let us highlight the red value and enter 248. For the green value, let us enter 220. And for the blue value, let us enter 121. Now we can see how this gradient transition from this color to this color. Let us hit OK to confirm. Let us click on the style option here and choose reflected. Then under the blending options, let us highlight bevel and emboss. And again, we get all the settings relating to bevel and emboss on the right. So I'm going to make sure the style here is set to inner bevel and the technique is set to chisel hard. I'm going to click on the depth value and take it up to 324. While testing this out, I came with a size value of 25 pixels. Under the angle, I'm going to make sure it is set to 180 degrees. Let us make sure use global light is checked, and for the attitude, if you were to take the attitude down to 0, you see we have just this plain text on the screen. But I came up with a value of 39. To have smooth edges on this text, let us hit on this button, and under the gloss contour, let us click on this arrow and choose the ring double. Under the highlighted blend mode, let us make sure it is screen, and for the opacity, let us take it up to 100. And under the shadow blend mode, let us make sure it is multiply, and of course it is the default option. I'll take the opacity up to 76%. By increasing the opacity, we have this effect on the screen, as you can see. If you are satisfied with what you have on the screen, you can stop there. But to make things even more interesting, I am going to enable the contour, then make sure it is selected by clicking on the word contour itself. Again, here on the right, we have the settings relating to contour. Now take a closer look at what we have on the screen. The moment I hit this check mark, you see some slight adjustments. The edges become sharper and nice. Let us take the range down to 50%, just like so. Let us now click on OK. And you see guys, we have this nice clean looking gold text effect on the canvas. You can come here under the layers panel, and with the effects you can click on this icon to show the before and after. So here's the before and here's the after version. And mind you guys, this text is still editable. You can change the word gold to your desired text. Of course, I'm going to click here to collapse the effects menu. Now, the reason why we created a flexible background was so that you can be able to have multiple variations of the same background with one click. So with the background layer selected, I'm going to duplicate it by pressing Ctrl-Alt-J. That will be Command-Option-J on the Mac. And because we held the Alt or the Option key, we force open the new layer dialog box. I'm just going to rename this to Background 02 and say OK. Now I'll come to the Background 2 thumbnail and just double click on it. And while I was trying to test the design out, I came up with certain values. For example, we can go to the red color and input 71. For the green color, let us enter 8. And for the blue color, let us enter 40. And then under the hue here at the top, let us enter 329 and say OK. Now as you can see guys, we successfully changed the background color with one click, and the golden text still look nice and crisp on the canvas. This is really nice and awesome. The good thing is, since we apply different effects, we can simply duplicate this layer and adjust the settings to have like a metallic text. So let us do that. I'm quickly going to press Ctrl-Alt-J, that's Command-Option-J to rename it, and I'll just change the name to metal and say OK. Now I'm just going to double click here to bring the layer style dialog box, and then I'll simply come down here to gradient overlay, make sure it is selected, and then I take the opacity down and say OK. Just look how nice it looks on the screen. Very awesome guys. Now we have two variations of this particular text, but this is the version we're aiming for. So that is how you can easily create a nice clean looking gold text effect inside Photoshop. Also mind you that the font that you use is going to play a major role, okay guys? So feel free to play along with the different settings and have even more results. In future videos, I'll be explaining in details layer styles and all the different options. So kindly subscribe to this channel to stay up to date. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. Bye bye.